Hi dear fans, friends and subscribers of Cricket Happenings. Welcome to this live cricket update coming in from Dubai on this particular cricket show, and that is the match we are talking about. As I said, it's the first one-day international of the three-match ODI series, which is being played in the Sharjah cricket ground, the United Arab Emirates. Once where I was actually working in the past. Well, dear fans and subscribers, I have pleasure in bringing up this live cricket update here from the Sharjah cricket ground, where Australia today batted first. Australians were the ones who actually won the toss today, and they had no hesitation in batting first, and they put up a very good score on the board. I wouldn't say it's a wonderful score, but they definitely put up a very good challenging score on the board of 255 for 8. It was led by none other than Steve Smith, who went on to make his maiden ODI century today, and what a knock that was from Steven Smith. But I thought Australia probably lost their way towards the closing stages, even though Steven Smith was absolutely well entrenched at the crease after making his maiden ODI century. But then Pakistan, well, they didn't have a good start, but as I said yesterday, there is one man, that Umar Akmal right now is at the crease while I'm talking. He's not out on 8, and today Sarfaraz Ahmed was included in the team. And what was good about Sarfaraz Ahmed, as I said, I was speaking about Sarfaraz Ahmed yesterday, and if at all you want to look at my comment, yes, definitely on the show I definitely spoke about that, but also you can also go and have a look at the Cricket Reddit website, where I actually posted a comment about how Sarfaraz Ahmed could be a threat for Umar Akmal. And Sarfaraz Ahmed is a specialist wicketkeeper. Today he was made to open with Ahmed Shahzad, and let me tell you, Pakistan, after losing the early wicket, what one saw was something which I said yesterday on my cricket show, that Sarfaraz Ahmed is a wonderful cricketer, and he definitely showed us why today by putting James Faulkner onto the roof of the Sharjah cricket stadium with a slog sweep for 6, and then he also hit 3 fours in a very pleasing knock of 34 of 41 balls with 3 fours and 1 6. Until now he has been the highest scorer, and the only reason that Pakistan today find themselves at the score of 74 for 4, even though they lost once Sarfaraz Ahmed was gone, they lost two quick wickets pretty quickly, and it was Nathan Lyon, the right arm off spinner, actually dismissing both Misbah-ul-Haq, the captain, and also Asad Shafiq. No, Asad Shafiq was a victim of Johnson. Sarfaraz Ahmed himself was a victim. As I said, they were 9 for 1, and after that Sarfaraz Ahmed was the one who provided the fireworks for them to take the score to 59 in the 13th over, and suddenly Nathan Lyon came in and once again saw to it that Pakistan would struggle by picking up 2 wickets and 2 balls in his over. Then he picked up Misbah-ul-Haq. He picked up Misbah-ul-Haq and also Asad Shafiq. Asad Shafiq was caught on the sweep shot, and Misbah-ul-Haq was one who was trying to nudge down the leg side. David Warner coming up with a very good catch down the at leg slip area. So Pakistan are really struggling in reply to Australia's 255 for 8. Now let's have a look at the Australian card here. Now Australia today, this particular match which was played, as I said, is being played at the Sharjah cricket ground, Sharjah cricket stadium, and it was Australia who actually won the toss, and they had a debut for the all-rounder Sean Abbott, and also Zulfikar Babar from Pakistan made his one-day international debut. But let's have a look at the Australian card. Now Australia, in fact Pakistan had a great start to this one-day international series, as Mohammad Irfan, the strapping bowler, actually bowled the full-length delivery, which was actually angled into Aaron Finch, and Aaron Finch was trying to slice the ball through the point area, and Ahmed Shahzad picked up that catch. And Aaron Finch, on the very first ball of this one-day series between Australia and Pakistan, Irfan sounded the boards pretty quickly by picking up the wicket of Aaron Finch, caught by Ahmed Shahzad at the point for duck of the very first ball of this of their first one-day international. After that, it was Steven Smith. As you know, because Michael Clarke is not there, Steven Smith has been promoted as one drop, and he and David Warner had to chisel together a partnership because they had to be pretty watchful, which they did. They really saw off Mohammad Irfan, and Wahab Riaz was the one who was not actually hitting his line properly. So David Warner was taking full toll of that. Steven Smith too did it, but it was more of David Warner actually going after the bowling of Wahab Riaz and putting his loose deliveries into the fence. So David Warner and Steven Smith then slowly starting to knuckle down to the task of actually knuckle down to the task of actually recovering from the setback that they suffered of the very first ball of this series when Aaron Finch was gone, and David Warner and Smith really put their heads down and really steadied the Australian innings to a great degree by taking the score on to 86 before the next wicket to go was David Warner. Now Shahid Afridi was introduced into the attack, and this was the first time that we were seeing the signs of spin there, and Shahid Afridi picked up the wicket of David Warner when David Warner was caught by Umar Akmal off the bowling of Shahid Afridi after making 43 of 63 balls with 5 4. So that made the score 86 for 2. In walked the Australian captain George Bailey to join Steven Smith. Steven Smith was looking pretty good. In fact, he had taken his time at the crease and he was doing a fine job there as a one-drop batsman in place of Michael Clarke. And what he did is he really we saw that he was really using his feet to the spinners very well, which was pretty good to see. And one of the strokes that was very good to see was how he actually went across the off stump to Mohammad Irfan and flicked him away through the mid-wicket region for a boundary. That was a beautiful shot. Other than that, we all know that Steven Smith is a very good player of spin. We definitely saw that. But let me tell you, the Pakistan spinners were absolutely on Australia's batsmen. With Zulfikar Babar on his debut, returning wonderful bowling figures. In fact, he bowled pretty well. They kept it real tight. Shahid Afridi was also keeping it tight, and also Anwar Ali was hit for a sweetly timed 6 by Steven Smith early on, and both of them, and then Bailey was the next to go as Fawad Alam actually picked up the wicket, with Shahid Afridi taking a very good catch. In fact, judging the catch pretty well, he had to actually run backwards, and always, as you know, running backwards and taking a catch is something very difficult, because you have to keep an eye on the ball and still you have to have very good eyes and reflexes, and Shahid Afridi definitely did that by keeping the eyes on the ball absolutely keenly, and finally picked up the wicket of George Bailey when Bailey was sent to the pavilion. Caught Afridi bowled Fawad Alam for 18 of 24 balls with 1-6, which made the score 123 for 3. Glenn Maxwell came into the crease, and Glenn Maxwell hit one boundary in his knock of 21 of 23 balls before Zulfikar Babar had his maiden ODI wicket at the form of Glenn Maxwell, as Glenn Maxwell was actually trying to tonk Zulfikar Babar down the ground, and Mohammad Irfan taking a good catch for 21. So that made it 158 for 4 in the 33rd over, and then James Faulkner walked in, and after that, this was the phase where the score was reading 158 for 4 and Maxwell departed, and then there was a sort of a real lull in proceedings, because runs were not easy to come by when James Faulkner and Steven Smith were at the crease, and then James Faulkner was finally dismissed. LBW bowled Shahid Afridi for 11 of 20 balls with 1-4, and after that Sean Abbott contributed 3 runs, but Steven Smith himself, after reaching his maiden ODI century, was a goner, as Steven Smith was snapped up by Wahab Riaz in the deep of the bowling of Shahid Afridi for a well-made maiden ODI century, 101 of 118 balls with 6 4s and 2 6s. I thought he did a fine job there, and he was gone. And after that, I thought Australia really struggled towards the latter stages. Once Steven Smith was gone, they probably could have got more runs. They got only 39 runs of the balance 6 overs, because Steven Smith, the mainstay, was gone. And then Sean Abbott was a victim of the bowling of Riaz for 7. So Sean Abbott on his debut just failing with the bat, making only 3 runs. And then Mitchell Johnson of the final over creamed 3 consecutive 4s of the first 3 balls of Wahab Riaz over. But on the 4th delivery, the 5th delivery, Mitchell Johnson was a victim of Wahab Riaz, as Wahab Riaz got to actually hit the furniture of Mitchell Johnson. He was gone for 21. So Mitchell Johnson bowled by Wahab Riaz for 21 of 16 balls with 4 fours. Kane Richardson was not out on 2, and Australia's innings ended up at 255 for 8 of their 50 overs. As far as the bowling was concerned, Mohammad Irfan was very, very impressive. As George Bailey, the Australian captain, definitely said the other day after the 2020 that Mohammad Irfan is somebody they have not played much. So it will be good to see how Mohammad Irfan goes. And Mohammad Irfan, I thought he has won the first battle against the Australians. 10 overs, 2 maidens, 1 for 35 bowling figures. Wahab Riaz was the very, very costly. His 10 overs were cleaned up for, were taken for 61 runs with only 2 wickets to his name. The spinners were very, very impressive. Zulfikar Babar in particular, 9 overs, no maiden, 1 for 35 on his ODI debut. Shahid Afridi bowled 10 overs, no maiden, 46 runs and 3 wickets, was the chief wicket taker with 3 wickets. Anwar Ali was not impressive at all. His 8 overs costing him a very, very costly 52 runs, and Fawad Alam bowled 3 overs, no maiden, 1 for 23. Now that was as far as the Pakistan bowling card is concerned. Now let's have a look at the Pakistan batting. As I said, the Pakistan batting today, I thought it was a very, very wise move. I've always said that yesterday, as I said, Sarfraz Ahmed is someone who should be groomed up, because I think he's a very, very aggressive bloke. We have seen that he has shown this in the test matches, and that's the precise reason he has actually merited an inclusion in the Pakistan side. And I thought that was a wonderful move on the part of Pakistan to promote Sarfraz Ahmed as an opener. Well, Sarfraz Ahmed definitely did his job, but Ahmed Shahzad was an early wicket. In reply, Pakistan, chasing 256 to win the match, lost an early wicket as Ahmed Shahzad was caught by Smith over the bowling of Mitchell Johnson for 4. That made it 9 for 1, and Asad Shafiq walked in to join Sarfraz Ahmed. Well, Asad Shafiq, I wouldn't say he was not looking pretty confident against Mitchell Johnson and Kane Richardson and Faulkner, but let's talk about Sarfraz Ahmed. As I said, Sarfraz Ahmed, in fact, one of the ball, he hit 1-6, which was actually taken from outside the off stump. It was a slot sweep stroke of the bowling of James Faulkner. I mean, he had such power in that he actually sent it towering over the roof of the Sharjah Cricket Stadium. And Sarfraz Ahmed hit 3 fours and 1 6 in a very, very pleasing knock, as I said, of 34 runs of 41 balls. Now, this is what I think this was a good move on the part of Pakistan to actually promote Sarfraz Ahmed, because he's an aggressive, by instinct he's a very aggressive player, and I think he should be on the top of the order now. And Sarfraz Ahmed definitely showed, and he also, I would say, he really merited that spot of the opening spot, and he showed that Sarfraz Ahmed can be a pretty dangerous customer at the top of the order, because you need, and the power play you can take the maximum advantage, and Sarfraz Ahmed is one who is not afraid to hit over the top, and that's what precisely Pakistan wanted. But Sarfraz Ahmed was doing his duty, and the partnership, thanks to Sarfraz Ahmed, went on to 59, and that was the time Nathan Lyon was introduced into the attack. And Nathan Lyon, the right arm off spinner, when Pakistan were definitely, after Sarfraz Ahmed actually pasted some boundaries and a 6, things were looking good for Pakistan at that particular stage. Probably they were trying to recover, but Nathan Lyon, the right arm off spinner, came in and once again saw to it that Pakistan struggled by picking 2 wickets of his first 2 balls. As first he picked up the wicket of Sarfraz Ahmed, who actually was trying to play a sweep stroke at the bowling of Nathan Lyon, the right arm off spinner, but Sarfraz Ahmed, while sweeping, actually got an edge onto the bat, and Brad had him behind the stumps, did the rest. So he was gone after making an attractive 34 of 41 balls, the 3 fours and 1 6, and then the very next delivery, in fact, Nathan Lyon, the right arm off spinner, was bowling with a leg slip. Probably there was a game plan there. David Warner was at the leg slip area, and Misbah-ul Haq was the one who was trying to nudge the ball down the leg side, but the ball actually, what happened was the ball actually flew up in the air, and David Warner at leg slip took a good catch, and Nathan Lyon had taken 2 wickets in these first 2 balls in his first over to really cause a dent in the Pakistan innings once again, with the score rating 59 for 3, and then when the score reached with another 4 runs added, Asad Shafiq was sent back to the pavilions. Mitchell Johnson was brought onto the attack on his second spell, and he immediately obliged by getting Asad Shafiq, actually bowled a bouncer to Asad Shafiq, Asad Shafiq, trying to fend at it, actually got actually the ball got to hit the bat and lobbed down to Brad Haddock behind the stumps, and he was gone. Asad Shafiq caught Haddock, bowled Johnson for 13 with 1-4, and the score suddenly from Pakistan, where after Sarfraz Ahmed had really provided some fireworks, once again Pakistan, the innings was back into real trouble, struggling at 63 for 4. And right now I see that Fawad Alam, which can be trusted because Fawad Alam has always been good. He has shown consistency, and one has seen that Fawad Alam is someone that can really revive things, because and once he revives things and he can settle down, and towards the end you can really fancy Fawad Alam to play some very good strokes. So right now he's doing the job that Pakistan needs. He's not out on 6 of 22 deliveries. Umar Akmal, the man who is out of form, is in the middle. He would be under definite pressure. Umar Akmal is not out on 13 of 17 balls with 1-4, and Pakistan currently after 20 overs are placed at 82 for 4, but still a long way to go for Pakistan. In fact, the required run rate, I'll be telling you the required run rate, and as far as 82 for 4, still a long way to go under 30 overs, but still possible, I would say, because they still have some batting to come in the form of Shahid Afridi, Anwar Ali, and Fawad Alam. Umar Akmal would be expected to really go on probably till the 35th over, and then expect Shahid Afridi to provide some big hits. And while I am talking, Umar Akmal has just cracked the boundary to take the score on to 89. As far as the bowling is concerned, Mitchell Johnson, 5 overs, 1 maiden, 2 for 16, has bowled excellently. Kane Richardson's 3 overs cost him 12 runs. James Faulkner, 2 overs for 20, has been costly. As I said, that Sarfraz Ahmed was the one who really pasted James Faulkner's bowling. Sean Abbott on his debut has bowled good, 3 overs, no maiden, none for 11. Nathan Lyon has been the one who picked up that important wicket of Sarfraz Ahmed. He's bowled 6 overs, 2 maidens, 2 for 17. Glenn Maxwell, 2.2 overs, no maiden, none for 5. And this is the match situation right now. While I'm going to leave you on this Cricket Happening show, dear fans, friends and subscribers, but one thing that I would like to tell you, tomorrow there's another match which is starting. This is the first one-day international between West Indies and India, which is starting. West Indies are in India. The match is going to be played at Kochi, but unfortunately one has to wait and see how the match goes, because there is a threat of rain in Kochi. Well, dear fans, friends, subscribers, with this cricket update coming in from the Sharjah Cricket Stadium, where in reply to Australia's 255 for 8 of 50 overs in the first one-day international against Pakistan, Pakistan in reply are really struggling at 89 for 4, and we are in the 20th over. Thanks for your company, and thanks for watching Cricket Happenings, dear friends and subscribers. Your host Ram will be there tomorrow to talk about a summary. Probably I'll be, as you know, cricket, I never miss cricket, so even though right now I am really strapped for time, I will have to talk to you about this match as the match will conclude. I'll be talking about this particular game that happened. We will know who were the victors. Currently, Australia are looking on the ascendant, no doubt about it. But as I said, this game still has a long way to go because 6 wickets are there and more than 30 overs are still left in this particular game, with Fawad Alam and Umar Akmal at the crease. Well, dear fans and subscribers, always a pleasure bringing you the Cricket Happening show. So watch out for my Cricket Happening show tomorrow, which will talk about this particular game, about the conclusion of this game, and also I'll be looking at the first one-day international between West Indies and India. Until then, it's goodbye for the day from your host Ram Studios. Thank you.